Maybe you've gotten to a place in your life where you realize that you want to be led by your heart, or your gut, or whatever you want to call it, instinct, intuition. Because maybe living from your mind hasn't yielded always the best results. And maybe you're feeling a little bit like, how do I do that? Or some confusion around what does that look like? You're transitioning from sourcing one kind of information up here to sourcing a totally different kind of information down here. And there's a whole bunch of baggage that goes with that. And what if, as a practice for just kind of dropping into your heart and allowing yourself to be led in little ways by your heart, you just chose to start with some small practice? One that I really love and that is almost always, I don't want to say miraculous, but just almost always yields delightful results, is on days when I'm just kind of sitting around, when I have nothing really planned or anywhere to go or do or be. And let's say I'm just sitting in I have a nice knitting chair that I sit in at home and I just kind of rock and knit. And I'll be on the lookout for if I have an impulse to get up. And instead of just kind of sitting down and continuing to do what I'm doing, even though I don't know what the impulse is leading to, I'll just get up and I'll follow it. And I used to do this really wonderful thing in the days way before I had my babies and a business and a dog. And well, actually I did have a dog back then, but I'd get up on Saturday mornings, and Lucy, my beautiful dog at the time, and I would hop in the car and I would sit in the driver's seat and close my eyes for a few minutes. And I would just wait until I could feel which direction was calling me. And I would just drive in that direction. And we just had the most wonderful adventures in that way. I met great friends at dog parks I'd never been to before. I found cafes in little parts of the city I didn't know existed. It uncovered little trips to bookstores that led to life-changing books. I mean, it was a wonderful thing that I used to do. I don't quite have the freedom at this stage in my life to do that, but there are other ways I can do it. And I love that one of just kind of like sitting in my chair and saying, like, where do I want to go right now? And what's calling me? Do I want to change what I'm doing? Do I want to get up and go into the garden? Do I want to get up and call a friend? And it's just a great way to kind of get movement going and get your heart involved. Let it know that you're looking to it for part of the decision-making process. Happy Monday. I'd like to do the daily offering. Actually, first I want to remind you that we have until Friday to enter the contest for the daily, or for the cards that I use in the daily offering. This is the Elemental Medicine Inspiration deck, and it's a deck of cards that I've written that have all of the wisdom and little reflections and meditations. And they're really wonderful kind of cards that you can sort of pull when you're looking for a little bit of direction in your life. You can kind of pull one out and read its message for you and see how it relates to your day. They're usually spot on for me. I use this deck every day and I love it. So I'm gonna give a copy of this deck away every Friday. So make sure that you go to the Instagram at Love Morning Moon and find out how to enter that. So that's one thing I just wanted to mention. And then I'm gonna go into the basket is running low. I'm gonna go in there and refill it this week with some goodies. Oh, we have a chitin. We have an oxidized chitin. This is a great piece. This piece is not only aesthetically really interesting, but also quite comforting to wear. So there it is on its little black card so you can see it. It has a really lovely divot on the inside so that when you're wearing it, kind of like the limpet, there's a little place for your thumb and you can kind of just sort of contemplate, and it's very tactile. It's a very tactile piece. This original came from Rebecca Spit on Quadra Island, for anybody who's familiar with that. And I'd like to do a chitin reading for you now. The Brave Friend. Chitin energy can bring a period of great personal transformation, often opening into a period of great prosperity. Chitin energy can be useful for drawing on elemental support and divine love for finding the strength to end difficult relationships, leave unfulfilling jobs, or reevaluate situations that are not bringing out our best. They encourage safety, prosperity, and vision. So one of the things that chitin can remind us is that fear is not real. I mean, your experience of fear may be very real, but the act of being fearful is not necessary. And I think chitin is a really great reminder of that. You have everything you need to protect yourself right where you are. And sometimes you need to stop moving, stop acting, stop engaging for a little while to kind of gather your resources, protect yourself, and then you can keep going when the coast is clear.